Hey y'all, happy Memorial Day. I hope you guys are taking a moment to remember the veterans and everything that didn't always make it home, and also the ones that did make it home. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I have multiple veterans in my family, and they are amazing people, and they are owed a lot of respect because they fought for what we often take so much for granted. That being said, today we are going to go back to the Fasics situation, which is that series that I had started, and I began with dermaplaning, then I went to skincare, then I went to pencil brow. Today we are going to do kind of a part B to the pencil brow, or the brows in general. We are going to be using powder brows. There are multiple products and multiple people who create powder brows. It Cosmetics has what's called the powder that is the brow power powder, and it is in this particular, I love It Cosmetics because it's kind of a do-it-all kind of thing. There's one of theirs. I have multiple It Cosmetics products. I actually really love their products, and they're cruelty-free. I try to use everything on my channel that is cruelty-free. If at any point in time during my YouTube and you see something that is not cruelty-free, please leave it down below and say, hey, Leah, this is not cruelty-free. I don't know if you're aware of it, kind of thing. Let's all be kind. Let's be nice. Let's keep our comments happy, uplifting, because we're all here to enjoy the videos. Also, Smashbox has in my hashtag Shape Matters palette, it has an entire, let's see if I can do this without dumping everything out, an entire section of, this is a pomade, this is a lighter powder, and this is their darker powder. This is a very beautiful palette, very versatile, very easy kind of shaping and basics palette. All you need is a blush, I believe, in that one. Also, Ofra has a multi-purpose, this is one of their pro palettes. I have quite a few of them. I love, 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 love them because you can also pop things out. If I still keep the covers on them so they don't get messed up. Let's see how this is blush and all that stuff. Well, over down here is some brow and eyeliner colors. Nice thing about powder is you can also wet it to make it more pigmented. I have a Pixie palette. This is the Chloe Moralo and Pixie palette that I believe she used for her wedding. And in it, there is a section that you could very easily use for liner or brows or whatnot. And then Dominique Cosmetics has a multi-use eye and face palette. This is her transition palette, which I really love, and I kind of love the fact that someone came out with just a transition color palette. Here is it. I have barely dipped into it because I have so many palettes, but do you see these colors? Like literally you can do a whole face. Even the contour, your brows, some liner, blushes, highlights, everything. It's kind of an all-purpose palette as well. Love this. Love Dominique's Cosmetics, and I love watching her videos. She's always super nice and super informative. If you don't know who I'm talking about, her name is Christine Dominique, and go ahead and follow her because she's amazing. Also, I have a little palette by the Brow Gal. Again, multiple colors in the brows, dark, medium, light. You can see a trend here. This is a brow pow that I just picked up. It's by The Balm. I actually haven't used very many of their products, but thought it was a really cool color and figured I'd try it out at some point in time. It is just a singular powder. Also, this is the Revolution Focus and Fix Eyebrow Shaping Kit in medium dark. You guys know that I like to go a little bit darker on the edges because mine are so faint. So, that being said, this was awesome. I actually ended up finding this at TJ Maxx, and I only paid $2.99 for it. Really cool, great product. I think they just repackage things and then send them to TJ Maxx or stores like that, or Marshalls or something, and then you can get like random little gold mines here for super cheap. And then I have You'll see me use this a lot. I use this in corporation with pencil or pen brow. This is the Wet n Wild. Again, it has a pomade. It has a little mirror that goes with it. It has a light shade and a dark shade. Usually I go through the dark shade the fastest because again, with my brows, they fade off at the end. This is my Anastasia Beverly Hills. It comes with a brush and it comes with little forms and things that you can actually trace your brows with, which is really cool. Some people kind of need that little bit of an extra help, and here it comes with 5 different brow shapes. These are great when you're trying to learn how to do your brows, and also how, if you want to try a different shape or whatnot, you can always conceal out your brows and put one of these over and kind of shape the brow. It comes with, now this one's a little different, comes with pomade, comes with 2 brow shadows, and it comes with 2 highlighting shadows. One is matte and one is shimmery. Love them both. Everything has a purpose when it comes to that. Anastasia Beverly Hills is known very much for her brows. I believe that's the first thing that anybody ever knew about her. Okay, and when you are using brow powders, you're going to use brow powder pencils, or not pencils, but brushes. Here I have 5 different ones. As you can see, they all look the same, or at least similar, but there's something very different about all of them. Their thickness. As you can see, this one's a Smashbox brush. It is, I'm not really, number 12. It's an amazing brush. It's thicker, so it's really great that you can fill in the front of your brows. And then here is my Real Techniques number, it just says 341. And the cool thing about this is it has a spoolie at the end, and it's not overly thick, so it can be used more for shaping as well. Powder, you're not going to get as many hair-like strokes unless you wet the brush, make it very fine, and then bring it through. You'll notice that as I perform the gradient technique. This is this is an e.l.f. brush. It is the small angular brush. Great. It's actually really thin at the end. I don't know if you can see how it tapers really to a very tiny point, but it's great to use. Here's the Anastasia 15 that was in the actual packaging. Also, and then here is another Anastasia Beverly Hills 12. I actually prefer the smaller brush, and it has a spoolie at the end. Spoolies come in handy. I usually take that off. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start off by doing the same thing we did in the previous video, which is marking our brows. If you remember the previous video, and what you have to do is just take a little bit on your brush and dab it in there. Sometimes I tap it off, sometimes I don't. Look down into your mirror. I'm just going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills little whole brow kit, and I'm taking the light color. I'm going to this time I'm going to do this brow. Again, line up with your nostril. See how this is lined up? Mark it. See how you can actually see the color? It's actually a really good and pigmented color. That's what you want when you're doing your brows. Then I'm going to go in again, and I'm going to take the corner of my nostril, corner, mark it up here. Remember, I'm doing mine more angular, so I need to know where I can actually go to make it look flattering. Then we're going to go in, dip it, top off anything that might be extra because you don't really want anything extra right now. You want to take the corner here. You're going to go straight through your pupil and find your arch. Okay? Look straight ahead. Go to your straight through. Arch needs to be in this vicinity. This is where it needs to crest. Okay? As you can see, all my markings are pretty much spot on to where you would need to have your brow. Usually your brow will go ahead and do what it's supposed to do. However, sometimes it needs a little help. So the first thing I'm going to do is, now with powder, I like to take the darker of the 2 colors, and we're going to color in the end. With brow, I had something on my eye. I don't know what it was. With the actual brow powder, you'll notice that there's more of a solid look to it, but that's where spoolies come into play to kind of make it blend and look very nice and natural, okay? Soft. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start where my brow is supposed to start, and I'm going to kind of angle that. See? Do you see how pigmented this is? Every single palette that I just showed you vary in prices drastically. And also, I wanted to give you some examples and variety, so you don't have to think that you just have to go out and get one particular one. Pretty much every single brand makes some type of brow powder or brow product. That's why I'm going through every single brow product, so that you can decide for yourself which one is best for you. So now, after I have created that top angle, I'm going to go ahead and draw almost a triangle, almost kind of like you're doing a wing, but not, and drawing it out. Then I'm just going to lightly color it in. As you can see, I'm getting a color already, a brow already. Take your little spoolie like we did in the other one, and scrape off any extra. You will be a little red. That's where concealer and all that fun stuff comes into play. Again, brush through your hairs. Brush up, brush down. You always want to brush the direction that you're working. So if you're working underneath, you want to brush up so you can get underneath, okay? If you're working on the top, you want to brush down. Then in the middle, you kind of brush sideways, okay? You don't, with powder, you have to be careful with rubbing it off when you do your brushing. So just be very careful and be very mindful. Okay, as I'm going through, I'm going to go back, darken up that edge, because we know I don't have any edge at all. So, gotta fake it. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna bring it in. So we're gonna, first I'm going to do the top a little bit. I am using the darker color still. The reason why is because I want it to connect to this. And then I'm just going to go through, because if you look at my hairs, I actually have I have dark brow hairs. I could have probably even gone darker in this kit. I've just had this kit and I love it so much that I just keep going back to the same color. And now I'm just going to kind of color through my brow. You'll notice that probably I would have to say powder is the easiest to work with, especially if you're beginning. Kind of just fills in everything. Again, as you can see, I'm kind of looking down when I'm doing this, because when you look down, you can kind of see up your brows. I don't know if that makes any sense, but once you start doing your brows, you can kind of see up into your brows, and you want to see where you're getting and where you're missing. Now I'm going to go ahead and brush up. I'm going to tilt my head just ever so slightly so I can look underneath and see what I have missed. And like I did with the brow pencil, I'm drawing this line carefully underneath. When you draw the line with the darker one, it kind of gives you this definition underneath. Now you can see that my brow has a nice arc. Hey, it's like I have a brow all of a sudden. Now, I don't have to color in because I actually do have hair there. But because I'm trying to show you what I would do if I didn't have brow there, I'm going to go ahead and show you. What you do is you wipe off your brow with like a little, you can use a brush transitioning type sponge. I actually didn't pull one out, or you can rub it off on a cloth. You don't want to transfer the same color because you want to keep the gradient. You'll see, it'll blend together. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and flick upwards. Now I'm using the lighter color. We don't want that block brow, remember. See? Put that lighter color right there. Now I'm going to take this and get rid of that. We're not using concealer to frame them out or anything like that. Not this go round. That's on another episode. Now, I could leave this like this, but what I'm actually going to do is spoolie through it very carefully. You don't want to wipe off the product that you just put there, but you want it to blend. Especially in that front. You don't want it to, you don't want that block brow. Unless you do, then that's your prerogative. And there you go. A little bit more where there might be some lacking. And there you go. Do you see how easy that was to create this brow? Just with one palette, one brush. Closing it up and putting my lid back on my spoolie. I always like to keep my spoolies protected because they have a tendency to get warped or out of shape or whatever. And then you always remember to clean your brushes. Again, this is the brow. You can see, I'm going to come really close so you're going to see every single little imperfection. My dark circles, my hyperpigmentation, my freckles, my pinkness to me, anything and everything on my purple veins, but we're paying attention to the brow. We're not paying attention to those. And easy peasy. I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought that was much easier than the pencil brow. But I love any and all things that has to do with makeup. I'm just showing you guys little tidbits of the basics so that you can make up your mind for yourself as to what you're going to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video or found it informative in any way, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified for every video that I upload. I will be continuing my Fasics series, so I'll be going with every single type of product, even down to eyeliner and lip liner, and breaking everything down so that you know and are educated on different sections of makeup. As always, thank you so much for watching. Much love. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.